Tell us your name, where you're from, what you do.
Maher, retired. What do I do now? I spend my time in my garden, cooking, looking after my wife to the best I can. Attending seminars, looking forward to retreats, and watching a bit of telly. Basically, that's it. To start with Paul, I suppose I should go back quite a few years when Paul was very young. And he used to come into a bar where I worked. And I got to know him, and Glenn, Yvonne. I knew his dad. Didn't know his mum. Knew of his mum, didn't actually know the woman. But I didn't know that he had become a very good friend of my grandson, Darren, who's better known as Benny. And then he got married, and he then had 2 children who are now my great-grandchildren. So he had a little girl, Frankie Rose, adored. And then he had a son, Ronnie, and we were all excited about Ronnie. But then I realised that his name was Ronnie Ray, and I questioned him. I said, "What's the ray about?" He said, "He's the ray of sunshine that has come into our lives." Little did I know that he would be my ray of sunshine. Because at his christening, I was in Benny's house, and this guy walked in, and I looked at him and said, "I know him." I said, "Paul, how are you?" I hadn't seen him for years. "What are you doing with yourself?" and blah, 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 you know, small talk. I do a bit of this, a bit of that. So I asked Benny what about Paul, and he said he sends me a message every morning. And I was going through a bad time at that particular time. I was depressed, and I was also suffering from anxiety. I didn't know until then that depression and anxiety are 2 separate things. Depression was something that had happened to you. Anxiety is something that hasn't happened yet, and you're worried about it. So I said, "Would you ever send it to me, what he's sending you? See, could I get anything out of it?" So he did. And I thought, "Oh, this is wonderful." I know you still read him every morning, look forward to him. And Paul then, after a while, said, "You know what, Benny?" He said, "I think your granddad is ready for a seminar. Invite him." So Julie happened. I said, "You know what, I have nothing to lose, let's go." So up I came to the first seminar. It was the best thing I ever done in my life. It really, I can honestly put my hand on heart and say it was the best decision I ever made to go to a seminar. If I can give advice to anyone, I would. It doesn't have to be Paul, it could be anywhere. It could be anyone. But I would advise anyone that's dealing with this racing brain, or if you're anywhere depressed, go to a seminar. Now, the thing about going to a seminar is you have to go with an open mind. It's very, very important. You sit and you listen to everything that's been said. It's up to yourself what you want to take in. There's no brainwashing or anything going on here. You're being given tools to deal with your problems. It could be financial, it could be depression, it could be anxiety. You might be in recovery. You might have a problem at home. But this is the place to go, to get the tools to deal with the problem. And I did. I listened, and I took on board what was being said. And after the seminar, home I went, explained everything to the wife, Sylvia, and I felt so good. Now, this is only my first one. I felt so good. I have to thank Paul for giving me the meaning of what was troubling me and to decipher it. My wife even noticed it. When I came back, she looked at me, she said, "What in the name of God?" She couldn't believe the look on my face. How happy I looked, how relaxed I looked. I was born in Limerick, and I spent the first 17 years of my life in Limerick. Joined the army, sent to Cork for training, and was posted in Cork after training. And I met this beautiful girl, Sylvia, and she told me her name was Sylvia. I discovered the day we got married her name was actually Sarah. I said, what else didn't you tell me? I met Sylvia actually walking one of her friends home from a dance. And I really didn't want to be with that girl, I wanted to be with Sylvia. Sylvia told me afterwards that she was hoping that her boyfriend, who they'd broken up, would be asking her up for a dance, so she was annoyed with me. And I said to her, "Would you ever ask her, could I go over her?" So we did, we went to the pictures. And so, before we knew where we were married. And we had 3 beautiful children. And that was, I met her in 1966. So that's how long ago? So we're still together, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
As I mentioned already, I'm from Limerick, and Limerick is a very holy city. Very religious. In my day, I don't know about now. But Croagh Patrick, in school we were taught by Christian brothers. And Croagh Patrick would have been a big story, St. Patrick. It would have been a big story in your school days. And every July it would be on the news that a pilgrimage up to Croagh Patrick and people in their bare feet and all that. And so you had to make an impression on you when you were young. And so it always stayed with me. We went on a retreat off up to Maher, up to Anna Croagh, Heart and Soul, up to Austin, his wife and his staff, Damien, Teresa, Vanessa, Sean. Wonderful, wonderful people. Beautiful people. And you'd sit there and you might do a bit of meditation, and there's Croagh Patrick. And it was in your face. But then one day we went to the beach and we drove it right at the foot of Croagh Patrick and then onto the beach. And I was looking at it. So I was on the beach and I was still looking at Croagh Patrick. They went around in a circle in the water and they were screaming and laughing and joking. I couldn't make up what was there. When they came out, they then made another circle and Paul came over to me and said, "Right, Tony, what's your goal?" And as he said it to me, this was on the beach. As he said it to me, Croagh Patrick was in my sight, right there in front of me. And I said, "Paul, I want to climb that, that's my goal." Obviously, people were looking and saying, "This guy is mad. He's so heavy, and he's so old, I'm 76. So with that, Paul approached me and he said, "Tony, if I pay for you, a personal trainer for you, will you go in the gym?" And I looked at him and I thought he was joking me. I said, "What? I intend to get fit, some way fit, but I didn't expect that." Give you an idea how generous the man is. So he did, he set that up for me. So his dad, Noel, and myself off down to the gym. And next thing I started walking up and down Fair Hill. And before I knew where I was reasonably fit. People doubted that I would climb up there, but I never doubted for 1 minute that I wasn't going to go climb that mountain. Never. I wouldn't have got on the bus up to Maher if I thought I wouldn't make it to the top. Off we went anyway, took the wife with me, Sylvia, she was delighted. We had a lovely couple of days away. Came to the morning of the climb, psyching myself up, going out on the bus. Came to it, and this supposed to be a guide was giving us instructions. He had this huge pack on his back. And if I called it, it was a bad weather the same day. If I called it, he said, that's it, we're not going up. Off we went anyway, and off we went on the climb. And we came to the hardest part then, the steep part, and I got a cramp in my left thigh. And I thought, oh no, don't let me down here now, please. With the help of those, I was never not going to climb that mountain. So they were there with me, they were pushing me and shoving me and lifting me. And we met this little lad coming down with his dad, and he's fairly nervous. We had a chat with him and we got photographs taken with him. And they were all singing, come on Tony, there's only one Tony Maher. We were very near the top, and Paul said, right, everybody up ahead of me, let me stay where I was with my family. So with about 10-15 metres to go, they did a guard of honour, and I walked up through the guard of honour. I don't know how I felt. I couldn't explain, I couldn't put into words the feeling, the cheering that was going on. And even when I got to the top, I turned, and I remember looking at Andrew and Benny, and tears just came into my eyes. I did it. I got there. I achieved it. I set the goal for myself, and I achieved my goal. And I was so, so happy. So, anyone that's listening to me, if you want to take my advice, set a goal for yourself. And don't let anything or anyone get in the way of it. Put your mind to it. Believe me, if I got up Croagh Patrick, you can get up Croagh Patrick. It doesn't have to be the Croagh Patrick. We all have Croagh Patricks in our lives. Every one of us. I achieved mine.